Well, it's official. The internet has melted. The 70 series facelifted pictures have dropped, and oh my god, everyone's got an opinion on it, and so do I. So let's get into it. Righto, so looks aside, because looks of a vehicle or anything are very, very personal. There's some people out there that might like it. I'm really on the fence about it because some vehicles like the Mazda BT50, for example, I really hate the look of it. Once you put some accessories and a bull bar on it, I think it's probably the best looking new to the bunch. So that's how much I think accessories can change the look of a vehicle. The 70 series could be the same. We haven't seen that yet. We don't know how it's going to look when it's all dressed up. So yeah, it looks a little bit Jimny. There's been some Mahindra comments. That's a bit harsh, but all that aside, I think the biggest change is under the skin and the fact that they put a Hilux motor in a Land Cruiser. First time ever. The 70 series has always had a Land Cruiser motor in it. And when I say that, I mean the 70 series currently had the V8 out of the 200. The previous 70 series had the straight six, borrowed or shared with at least the 100 series Land Cruiser. They've always been Land Cruiser engines. All of a sudden, we've got a Hilux motor in it, which begs the question, why wouldn't you just buy a Hilux? Now, Toyota are smarter than probably what everyone gives them credit for. They are a very successful business. No one can deny that. So I would say that they know what their market is, and their market is fleet sales and mine vehicles. Now, I would say that the mines and the fleet buyers would much prefer that 2.8 litre diesel motor in the 70 series than the V8 any day. It's cheaper to run, it's cheaper to maintain, it's easier to work on. The packaging of the V8 in the 70 series is a pain in the ass to work on. I've got good mates that are mechanics, they can attest to that. Changing your starter motor is a full day job. Like, on what car should that be a full day job? The alternator hangs down low, so it's in the mud, the sand and the dirt all the time, so they don't last particularly well either. Once they've got very high Ks on them, if you need to do things like injectors, all of a sudden there's 8. So it goes on and on and on. A bigger motor like that is packaged so tightly in an engine bay is going to be expensive to maintain and hard to work on. Therefore, the 2.8 litre with the automatic gearbox in it solves 2 issues. Cheaper to run, cheaper to maintain, plus the automatic gearbox is much nicer on the whole driveline. I have worked in an environment where fleet cars were used or company vehicles were used on a pretty harsh job site. I can definitely comment on how they get treated. They get treated absolutely horribly. They dead set, get started, they are flat to the boards, dead cold, get to the job as quick as can. No one really respects the vehicles, and that's why they have always been Toyotas. They are very good at that. I've seen it firsthand. So the 2.8 is a smart move by Toyota for fleet and mining vehicles. 100% they will have that market sewn up for a long time yet. Me and you, however, will not buy those 2.8s. I really don't think that's going to be the case. And I think this experiment has been done before. The Ford Falcon FG had a killer Barra 6-cylinder motor in it, arguably or probably one of the best Australian engines ever designed. And the Barra Turbo now gets just about converted into any make and model car you can think of, alongside the LS V8. They're one of the 2 halo motors that if you want a cheap, powerful, reliable engine to put in a vehicle, they're the ones you go to. So alongside that, Ford brought in the EcoBoost 4-cylinder Falcon. Now, no one wanted it. No one wanted a 4-cylinder Falcon. And look, that's a very bogan way to look at it, but that was the truth. You bought a Falcon because it was a nice, big, powerful, comfy car with a 6-cylinder motor in it. Look, the taxis never really flocked to it either. It just wasn't something that anyone wanted. The other thing that people really find hard to get over was when Ford did it, it was a relatively new motor. No one knew much about it. Toyota's a little bit different. The 2.8's been around for a long time, and yeah, it did have a few issues to begin with, but they're pretty well sorted now. So yes, I think that Toyota have done the right thing. Not many people will say that. I think they're very smart in what they're doing. It's a fleet vehicle. It was always a fleet work vehicle. It's only the fact that the aftermarket got hold of it so hard and it's become a vehicle to tour Australia in. And in many ways, they're so flawed in doing that. I own one, I know. Would I buy one again? Yes, I'm a sucker. I really do love it. It's been really good for us. Would I buy the 4-cylinder one? Absolutely not. I'll just buy a Hilux. That does not make sense to me. The Hilux would be more comfortable, would have more technology. The back seats would have more room in them. The kids would be way more comfortable in the back of a Hilux. The wheelbase is probably very similar, so you're not winning there either. Off-road, arguably, the Hilux is probably just as good with twin lockers. I know the Hilux is an independent front end, but stock standard, the 70 series don't really flex well. So they are very flawed in a lot of ways. And I've said this so many times before, and everyone thinks I hate the car I drive, but I don't. I love it. I'm just honest. People just like to see what they own sometimes with rose-coloured glasses, and look, at the end of the day, it's just a thing. It's not a personal thing, it's a car. That's my look on it, guys. I really think Toyota know what they're doing. I think they've done the right thing by their market. We aren't their market. This was a crazy thing that happened. They become a cult vehicle out of nowhere. I think it'll be sad to see the V8 go. They have said that the V8 hasn't ended yet, but you have to imagine that the writing is on the wall. Why produce such a complicated, expensive engine alongside arguably easier to produce, easier to fit engine that's where most of their sales will be. So I think there's a cult vehicle there, that 79 series with the V8, and in 20 years time that's what they'll call it. It's like the HJ47 or the 40 series with the 2H is, you know, the one I chase, because that's the one everyone wants. Those old petrol motors were, you know, I'm sure they were reliable, but no one wants a petrol motor that old with a carby on it. They're not fun. The old diesel's very reliable, and we've proven that with Lance. So there's a cult vehicle there, and it's only going to grow stronger. So everyone that's crying out there saying how they're overpriced, guess what? It's probably only going to get worse. And I love reading the comments when someone puts one for sale on Facebook. You just get some popcorn. Yeah, it is a crazy thing, but you know, something is only worth what people are willing to pay for it, and they're willing to pay. So the 4-cylinder might be different. Anyway, guys, that's my take on it. I think it's already been done before. We know what the answer is. People won't buy them. The fleets will. So the 2.8 is a smart move on Toyota's part. Don't forget, you only live once. Get out there and enjoy it. I just don't think it'll be in a 4-cylinder Land Cruiser.